Hey there guys, it's Dark Omen FX, back with more Pokémon Leaf Green. In the last episode, we delivered Oak's parcel, got our starter Pokémon, and ventured through Viridian City, I guess. In this part, I'm going to show you what I did off screen. Basically, just to generally strengthen my team a bit more, I caught myself with Spearow, which I named Trickster, after good friend of mine, and I leveled up Andy to level 11. Don't think he has any new moves. Also, I caught a slave, Rattata, since Rattata is good for nothing else. And yeah, I want to strengthen my team so that I could show you the rival battle more easily, because I did do a test run to find out how good Migwell's Pokemon are, and they're a lot higher level. Well, not a lot higher, but kind of a somewhat toughish level for like how high you are immediately after you get your starter. So I did a bit of training, and now Migwell comes along. You're off to the Pokemon League, forget about it. And apparently he's already gone to the Pokemon League. Apparently getting a starter makes him think he can take on the best trainers in the region. What a lad. Now send out Andy. Now withdraw. Oh, that's a new move he got. Withdraw increases your defense, which is useful if it's like a drawn out battle probably. Pidgey's attack miss. Like, this battle shouldn't be too difficult. Wow, a crit. I swear Andy's just like professional at getting crits. Like, I don't know what it is. The NPCs just, the Pokemon just pulling crits on him all day, every day. And it's dead. Yeah, I don't plan to use Trickster as a permanent member of my team. I am going to get another flying type to replace him eventually. But it's really good to have at least kind of 2 Pokemon in your team early on. Especially because in this game, I mean in all games, there's a lot of bug types early on. So it makes it a lot easier if you have something that's super effective on them, just to make those battles go faster. Like when we go through Viridian Forest, I don't really want to just be tackling everything for like hours and hours. Like that's not really ideal. It just makes, I just want to get through the early part of the game as quickly as possible. Like, I could have shown all my off-screen training on screen, but I couldn't be asked. Is crawling with tough trainers. You should quit dawdling and move on. Which is kind of ironic since he was kind of standing here, but whatever. Whatever, the rival's just being rival like that. So now, I'm probably going to go heal real quick, so I will see you in a second. Okay, and we're back, and it's time to go north to the forest. Basically, Viridian Forest has been included in, like, it was in the 2nd gen games as well, but it was massively shrunk in those. So it's still kind of better in the original games, in my opinion. I think while I'm just walking through here battling trainers, I might as well talk about, oh, what do these people say? It's pretty impossible to get lost, to be honest. A Rattata, yeah, I've caught one, but not to use. Fool? Fool? I pity the fool who uses a Rattata on their team. And we have this kind of somewhat eerie mansion music in the forest, and the light is lost in the forest. This guy just staring at a tree. I'm gonna switch up my team before we get started, since, you know, why not? And I might just talk my way through all the random encounters, because, you know, why not? It's annoying to cut them out. I thought I'd just talk about, I don't know, LPing in general. Like, out of LPs I've watched, I used to watch a lot of LPs, but I feel like I don't watch as many as I used to. Like, the thing is, as new people discover your stuff, I feel like part of your audience dies at the same time, because there's always going to be people who remembered the classic stuff your channel did. And then when you sort of move on to something new, then your kind of original fans aren't big on that. At least that's what I think looking at other channels. I mean, like, take an LP like Chugga Conroy. I used to watch a lot of his stuff, like almost every LP of his, but I haven't watched them really. I've watched some of his LPs on and off, but not like kind of every day watching his stuff. I mean, maybe that's just because I have less time or something, but you know, I think sometimes LPs can get a bit stale, but that's why I like watching kind of Versus series so much. Like, if any of you have watched out with like Tyler and Josh Jepson, or Attacking Toucans and Josh Jepson, where they play through a game, and it's the kind of the banter that makes it entertaining. Like, I kind of appreciate how difficult it is just to be sort of entertaining by yourself, and I'm not claiming I do a great job of it, but I think like collab LPs are kind of a lot more entertaining. Like, I still watch the Runaway Guys regularly, and usually I only watch a solo LP if I really like the game they're doing, in all honesty. Anyway, this is our first trainer battle of the forest, and it's just a Weedle, so nothing that Trickster can't handle, just decimates that in one shot. And we're up to level 8. I believe that Spearow evolves into Fearow around level 25, but I'm not sure if I'll get it that far, because most of my Pokemon that I want for my team I'm going to catch quite late in the game, including my favorite Pokemon of all is going to be on my team eventually. But yeah, Caterpie can't hack it. You said it. You said it, man. I'm gonna walk around the long way, because I'd rather fight a trainer than just like walk through the grass and get like 69 million encounters, because that's not really how it's going down. I mean, I know it's not Pokemon related, but I kind of want to talk about Mario Kart 8 as well, since I know people who watch this channel. Also, obviously it's Nintendo, so it's still relevant, I'd say, in a kind of distant way. Like MK8, there are features in it I like. I kind of like how they've brought bikes back, because hopefully that'll make kind of... I mean, I'm not saying it's entirely great that they brought bikes back, it's just that not having bikes in the game, I felt like it made a lot of kind of high-profile MKWii YouTubers just kind of immediately dismiss it as a bad game, just because there were no bikes in it. Just be like, oh no, we don't want this no bike game. And then I feel like that kind of went through the rest of the community, and that's why MK7 community is so small. Like, I feel like fewer people gave it a chance than the game deserved, like in terms of being competitive with it. Like, MK7 community's always been small, I think, partly because of that bad publicity. I mean, it's not a bad game, like, by any means. Like, why would I be playing it for this long if I did think it was a bad game? But you know, like, MK8, I like the fact they've brought bikes back and kind of nerfed them a bit, because Inside Drift is just broken in every way relative to carts, because you can't have Inside Drift carts. I mean, maybe you can, but I wouldn't know about that. I think it's just getting the balance right between bikes and carts that they've kind of made more important. Hopefully they've just taken wheelies out, because if you can get Red Mini Turbo and Wheelie, then people are just going to be using bikes all the time again, and that kind of devalues the title of it being Mario Kart. But I like what they've done with it. The graphics look really impressive, and some people have just looked at the graphics and been like, yeah, it's going to be a great game, but you know, I don't think you can judge a game in a snap, because in the demos there was kind of no evidence of any sort of integration of the shock or like bullet bills yet. I mean, Game Explain did do a video where they kind of analysed every bit of the trailer, which I watched and I found quite interesting, because they pointed out a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have noticed. But regardless of that, the demo didn't show off the full gameplay, like the full potential of the game. Another Caterpie. Yeah, they didn't show the full potential of the game. I want to see some online gameplay as well. Because for me, like, having played MK7 for so long, I think, like, the item balance is really important. Because if you're kind of getting, like, there's such a variety of items you can get in every spot, that just means it all comes down to luck, and you can't predict what items you're going to get in any way. I would have rather they called it MKU, because I don't want it to just be MK7, MK8. I don't think they'll call the next game MK9 though, at least I hope they don't, because who wants that really? And I boosted up my experience. Almost at level 11. See, Trickster's just doing work in this. And just completely decimating everything in its path. I'm not sure if we'll get to the next gym in this part. We'll probably finish up the forest though, because obviously it takes quite a while just to plow through all these trainers. Like, you know, as you do. And level 11, let's see if we learn any more moves. Okay, apparently we don't. Like, in some ways, I like kind of the older Pokemon games because you're kind of more limited in your moves, and that kind of makes it better in some ways, I feel like, because if you're more limited, it kind of challenges you more to get the perfect move set. While in the newer games, I feel like you learn new moves all the time, and you can't, a lot of them are kind of useless, or they kind of don't contribute to any real strategy. They sort of just act as more moves to just kind of fill up your slots while you're leveling up. And while in some cases that kind of makes every Pokemon a bit more overpowered, I think. But I think, like, I like the 3rd gen games because I feel like there's a perfect kind of balance of moves that are in the game and not too many moves. Like, I don't know how many moves they're going to introduce into X and Y, but I don't really want it, like, if you just end up gaining new moves every single level, because that seems kind of pointless to me. Like, you gain so many moves, but most of them are useless. I mean, I like the 5th gen games, but I don't like them as much as the 3rd gen games. That's just me personally, though, but like, I would want them to eventually do a Pokemon game where they incorporate, like, all 5 or all 6 regions in, like, a massive, like, a colossal RPG, where you can start, like, me and my cousin discussed this. It would be a really cool idea, I think, if you had, like, all 6 regions available, like, after X and Y is released, and then you could choose any one region to start in to get your starters to build your team, and then you just sort of go from there. And in case you haven't noticed already, we've arrived in Pewter City, which is where the first gym is. So I don't think we'll be taking on the gym in this part. I might just have a look around the town, just for the lolsies. That Jigglypuff song. Like, I should be falling asleep right now. I'm on the Fountain's Grand. And he tells us about this team called Team Rocket, who, I don't know why he's telling us that, because I don't know who the hell are Team Rocket. Like, who are these people? Who are these people you speak of? I think I might just walk around the town a bit. Talk to this old guy. They've learned new techniques. Yeah, that's the thing, like, later in the game, you can get, obviously, move tutors and move deleters, which is useful if you want to get rid of HMs. But obviously that's why I got my Rattata, so I can lose those HM moves. I think I can finally buy repels as well. Let me just check. May I help you? Yes, I can buy repels, so I'm gonna stock up majorly on repels. I can only buy 10 repels. How crap is that? I might wait then till after the gym before I stock up on, like, repels and stuff. Just 'cause it's kind of pointless right now. And then there's just like this weird square of glass. No, I haven't. You absolutely have to go. Oh, and this guy just drags you to the museum. You have to pay to get in. And he just drags you to the museum like you wouldn't figure it out for yourself. And as you can see south of there, yeah, there's the gym. And as you can see through, there's a little door over there, which you can't get into right now, because there's a small tree blocking it. $50 for a child's ticket. Or 50 Poké dollars, I don't know what the exchange rate is. And this museum is pretty small. This is kind of like Bones of a Dragon, Aerodactyl. Yeah, that Pokemon you saw there, Kabutops, yeah, both those Pokemon you see the fossils of, you can actually get those, like revive them from fossils. Yeah, Pikachu soon, I promise. Is he talking to his daughter? Oh, okay. Like, that would just be weird if he just said a Pikachu soon or whatever, with no context. And then there's this talk about space. I mean, that's kind of quite interesting. I don't know if those are in the original games, but that kind of links back to 3rd gen, where obviously you have the kind of spaceport in Sutopolis City, I believe. So yeah, I think that's quite a nice nod to those games. If it's not a nod, then I'm sorry, but I don't know. Seems like it would be. I think we get the running shoes in this town somewhere, because like they introduced, of course the running shoes didn't appear in the first 2 gens, but yeah. He talks about traded stuff. I'm not gonna trade in this run simply because I can't trade, first off, and the only trades I can do are in-game trades with NPCs, and none of those trades are particularly interesting. I mean, Mr. Mime is a good Pokemon. Oh, you get dragged around by more people. I guess because I never really talked to these people before, then it's kind of surprising that I get dragged all over the place. And I like the way it plays its own music as well. Like, you're being triumphantly dragged. If you have the right stuff, take on Brock. Well, that is exactly what we will be doing in the next part. So thanks for watching, guys. Rate, comment, subscribe, and peace.